a longer series here to sink our teeth into, and this could go either way, but I do have to lean towards and favor one such player. For now, though, we're settling in and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold. We have our French Terran player, the Red Terran, off-racing his Terran. Ah, he's crazy. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. And if you're in the chats, place your bets, because predictions are now open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chats. As again, we have seen herO take down Clem from time to time, but it is more of an exception, not the exception to the rule, not necessarily the norm here. Clem is a dominant force. He is the best player in the world, the current reigning world champion. We'll see if he can be brought down. We shall see. Yeah, it's always a lot of fun casting herO versus Clem, just because herO is a lot more active. He's a lot more aggressive as well compared to MaxPax, for example. I mean, sure, MaxPax, he's known for his 4-gate blink. True. So in that sense, he can be aggressive, but outside of that, usually a lot more standard, a lot more mid-game oriented. And we'll see how herO will approach this. Now herO just going for his own gate expander. Standard opener out of herO. Likewise, Clem across the map. Ooh, double gas. Okay, double gas opener out of Clem. This is something that we did not see a single time out of Bjorn. Bjorn, I mean, is not really one to embrace early tech. In this matchup, Clem is with double gas. What does this mean? This means a faster factory. This means a delayed CC for Clem, much more active, much more aggressive. This can lead into earlier and a more committed Widowmine drop. This can lead into an early Banshee production, early tanks into a tank Banshee push. This can lead into more committed Hellion Reaper as well. Based on the placement here of the factory, though, we shouldn't see an add-on swap. There should not be an add-on swap here, as it is further back, but it's further back to make sure that this doesn't get scouted. So our eyes are going to be on Clem here to see how he does open up. This is going to lead into a more delayed CC. CC is going to be on location. Reaper gets across the map. And does get eyes on the pylon locations as well. Now he knows where to scout for tech. Reaper gets zoned away. We do have our 1-1-1 setup here by Clem. And we would usually embrace a Widowmine drop with this. There we go. Widowmines are now on the way. Into Medivacs, into drop play. Initially a Widowmine drop here by Clem. Stalker will zone Clem away. Does deny the scouts. herO does embrace a Twilight Council, so Twilight Council into Blink. It should be Twilight Council into Blink. There are some niche builds where you can go into Charge or go into a DT-based opener, but again, they're very niche. Should be seeing Blink instead. Blink is on the way. And we'll keep an eye on the gateway counts. Do we see 2-gate Blink, 3-gate, or 4-gate Blink Stalker out of herO? How aggressive is he going to be? How committed from our Protoss? Forcing back the Reaper. Widowmines are amassing. Up to 2, soon to be 3 Widowmines, as we did get a slight supply block there for Clem. So here he does vent those shades. Doesn't see too much. Mine drop will soon move out. Do have a Widowmine here in the mineral line, just to make sure he's able to shut down any kind of a commitment to the shade. Likewise, Reaper does dive in. Clem, he does confirm the Twilight Council. Reaper goes down. And how many gates? We have 2 gateways in the main base. So just 2-gate Blink here from the Protoss into, I would imagine, a 3rd. Yeah, 3rd base is on the way, so economic build here by herO. Ooh, it's going to be delayed, though. Yeah, Clem, we will delay the 3rd. We'll force it at the triangular 3rd location instead. So, nice delay here from Clem. Does lay the expansion. Gets the hell out of there. Boost away. Rotating from here. Let's rotate. You can see herO trying to chase him down. There's the boost. And Clem, does he get away from here? herO does have another blink. Blinks across, doesn't quite catch him. And Clem, he does get away. Whew. Does manage to get away. At home, Clem just gearing up, getting to his own 3-1-1, 3 Raxes, 1 Factory, 1 Starport. Getting to his tank production. There was no Banshee follow-up or anything like that. Just into Biotank. And the Little Mines have still potential to get damage. Well, they have potential, but first Little Mine goes down. Does at least scout the 3rd base. So Clem is aware. No crazy 2-base all-in. herO, of course, embracing +1 into charge. Very gateway heavy. And fun fact, the way that herO he's playing this out is very similar to how Clem was playing against Beyond. Very similar build. The difference here, though, is that herO is taking into faster Bay, into a much faster Bay, into faster Colossus production. Is quite greedy of herO, as he is skipping Warpins to pull this off. But Clem isn't really being too active, so, I mean, herO can get away with it. herO he can get away with cutting corners. Autotar takes down the pylon. That's a kill, not a cancel. Very nicely done. herO in position. 3rd CC's on the way. Clem can now be active. And we'll see if Clem can punish the greed of herO as the first Colossus is now in production. And herO is that much more vulnerable. He has 2 shield batteries. Going for another warp in. herO he does spot the move out. He sees the army. As the army moves out, Zells they move in. They head towards the mineral line. Yeah, SCVs are going to go down. Auto charge into the main. Main army towards that natural, towards the 3rd even. Clem gaining ground. herO nice force fields. Does slice up the army, but there's just not enough here. Stalkers, they come in to reinforce. Tanks getting within range. And herO he's in trouble. Does he have that first Colossus? He does. He needs it. He needs that Colossus here and now. Once again, nice force fields buying time. And the Colossus has arrived. Now herO he can dive in, takes down the tanks. And he should be able to barely hold on. Oof, just barely. herO does hold. Clem dropping into the main. We got 5 rope kills. This shouldn't get much more though. Trading with the Stalkers. Forcing them back. Gets 1 Stalker. Whew. 1 Stalker goes down. herO does hold on. Again, herO he was being quite greedy compared to Clem in his previous series against Beyond, where herO he was taking faster into Colossi and did arrive just in time for the push. Was close though. Was very close. But herO holds. herO he holds, getting his 4th base up and running. Keeping Clem at bay. herO he does spot the 3rd. And likewise, he does spot the follow-up army here. Massing up for Clem. Clem, he gets eyes on the Zealot run by. He knows. Winter Mines are in position. Clem trying to snake around, does run into the Zealots. Will engage. Here he has to respond. Colossus and Immortal are in position. He's ready for this. Likewise, ooh, Medevac goes down. Clem just actually pivoting over towards that 3rd. Does hit the 3rd base, gets into the mineral line as well. Probe's going to be going down. He gets 2. And he wants the Colossus. He gets it. Colossus goes down into a massive pickup. We'll lose 2 Medevacs for it, but worth it. Worth it for Clem. Sniping a Colossus. herO going for a counterattack. He needs to. There's not much at home to defend. Uh-oh. Has Clem been too aggressive? Has he been too active? As Clem is not quite in position. 4 CC is denied. Zell's taking it into the mineral line. And here he kind of won this army. Takes down the Vikings. Gets 1. Nice mine shots. But the Vikings go down. Clem trying to come in from behind. He wants that Colossus. Ooh, and he might be able to get it. He stims in. No Prism. And no War Prism with the army. Colossus goes down. Massive pickup. And was this worth it for herO? As herO he takes down 23 SCVs. It looks like it is. GG gets called. Reinforcements have arrived. And herO takes game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Clem being too active, too aggressive. Again, Clem, he sent everything across the map for his drop play, and he was able to snipe a Colossus. He was able to get some workers, but remember, he lost his medevacs, he lost most of his army, and here he counterattacked immediately, and there was nothing at home to defend. That third base was so vulnerable, so exposed, and herO did catch Clem with his pants down. Catch him with his pants down, Pappy. GG, well played. herO takes the lead. Does take the lead in the series, and now we're getting ready for game number 2. Here we go. And again, just a really quick response out of herO. I mean, we spoke about this previously, but this is a map that you can punish on, that you can punish quite hard on, is Whispers of Gold, because how small the map is, because of how exposed the third base is as well. These counterattacks, they hit faster than on other maps, than on Ultra Love or Ley Lines, or of course some of the larger maps like Abyssal Reef, Neon Violet Square. So if you expose yourself like that, the chances of being punished like that are far higher. They are higher if the Protoss notices. And here he did have that observer parked over the third, so he was fully aware that there was nothing ready. And with that, GG. GG, well played. We're now getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into El Dorado, a much more unique map. It is one of the most vetoed maps in the map pool. Very often vetoed, which is why we're always so excited to cast it whenever we can, just because it's a rare sight. Here we go. So we're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of El Dorado, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid. Down in the series, we'll see if he can bounce back. I mean, it's a best of 5. He still has plenty of room to grow here, plenty of room to maneuver. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG, leading the series 1-0. It is herO. Here we go. See someone in the chat asking where's MaxPax. MaxPax did not play in today's tournament, so where is he? Clearly Clem is MaxPax. That's what we found out. Clearly, Pappy, clearly. Confirmed. That's why he's not here. Confirmed. As once again, Clem opening up double gas. Double gas opener here out of Clem. Same opener as we went for in the previous game. This leads into a faster factory. We saw that last game this led into a more committed mine drop with 3 Widow Mines. And we'll see what Clem does embrace this time. As welcome one and all to El Dorado. El Dorado known for being quite a short rush distance by air, I should say. Short rush distance by air map in the map pool. Likewise, does have half the map just completely cut off. There are gold bases, of course. We have 3 gold bases in total. And we'll see if either one does expand towards that southern half of the map. We shall see. We go. So now we do have that factory follow-up into the lanes you see here on the low ground. Clement does get into the main this time. Weston will threaten the main. Ooh, the Adept will shut it down though. Clem here overextends. Reaper falls, and that means that Clem will not get eyes on the tech of choice. It's going to be a Twilight Council opener here out of herO. And now we have the answer. Now we have the follow-up. It's going to be Reacted Reaper Hellion. Much more aggressive here by Clem, opting not to go into that Widowmine follow-up, committing here into Reapers and Hellions instead. Now the goal with this build, the goal with this follow-up here is to bust into a mineral line. It's to break through the front door and get into these probes or get into this mineral line to roast up those workers, roast up those probes. We'll see if we can get there. We'll see if he can break through. The Hellion is scouted. herO, he does spot the Reacted Reaper. He knows. Ooh, he even shuts down one of that. That should not have happened. One Hellion goes down already. Aye, that does significantly actually delay this move out. It does soften up this push. Means only 2 Reapers and 1 Hellion. Behind this, you can see Clem switching into Marine production, switching into a follow-up mine drop. And herO fully walls off. He fully walls off. Reapers, they bust into the main. They get a full scout. They get eyes on the Twilight Council, on the tech. They get 1 probe so far, 2. Not bad. They get 2 probe kills. They're going to get a 3rd probe as well. Very nice damage. 3 probe kills. 4 probes to 2 Reapers. Not a bad trade. Not bad at all. And a full scout as well. So a nice moment there for Clem. Back at home, following this up with drop play. Here comes the delayed Widowmine drop with Marines. Okay, opting to leave his Marines back at home. Does change his mind. Still being active though, still dropping. Ooh, Medevac gets spotted by the Stalkers. herO, he knows. Should be getting in position. Should be getting ready for that drop play. As the Medevac does divert his path. Likewise, he gets spotted by a herO. He's going to be forced back. Blink is done in 10 seconds. And the drop is deflected. Oh! Stalkers, they blink in. Again, that Medevac is so low. So insanely low. Will escape, will survive. Does make it out. As herO, he's going for his own counterattack, getting his 3rd base on location. Here at the triangular 3rd location instead. How many gateways behind this? 2. Yeah, only 2 gate blink. Only 2 gate blink. Mine drop into the main. herO trying to sneak up with the army. Does he notice? He does react in time, does pull away. Now can focus on his push, but there is a tank in position, and Clem holds. So if he does hold on, takes down a Stalker. herO, he was gambling. Wasn't quite worth it. Observer gets sniped as well. Nice defensive setup here by Clem. Sniping another observer. As Clem just gearing up for eventually breaking out and moving out across the map. He's on 3 tanks. Stim, combat shields +1, all on the horizon. Still a ways off though. And the reason why some of these upgrades are a little bit later is because of Clem's commitment into initially Reaper Hellion, followed by the mine drop. Medevac goes down. And that means that herO, he can comfortably get into a 3-base economy. And into a 4th eventually as well. Just like the previous game, herO investing into faster Robotic Spay, into faster Colossus. So herO, he is cutting corners. And he should be able to get away with it once again. Oh, as he does barely miss the Raven. Raven hits the natural. And we'll delay some mining. Clem's still building up. Upgrades are about to kick in. And the 3rd base is almost done. And here we go. Clem can now start to move out. He scans. He spots the 3rd. But again, applying pressure to this 3rd base can be very awkward on this map. Especially if you don't mine out these minerals yourself. So we'll see how Clem does approach this. Likewise, Zelnaga's in control of herO. There we go. Clem, he pulls the boys, and he will, I say, pull the boys. Pulls a couple of workers to mine through this wall, and will break out. Now, as a result, this wall will buy time. It's buying time here for herO to finish up his Colossus. As a result, the 1st Colossus is ready for the push, and the 2nd Colossus might be ready as well. As Clem is floating over, and the hallucination confirms. So here he gets eyes on the placement of the 3rd and on the army's position. You can see herO getting ready for a backstab as Clem moves out. Clem, he does spot the Stalkers. Here he rotates over. Army gets spotted. Medevac's under fire. Chargel's diving in. Tank's a little bit late to siege, but there's not enough zealots. Yeah, not enough zealots here. Not enough Chargel's here. He is a little bit vulnerable. He has to be very careful with how he engages. That's a massive chunk of bio. And here he's out in the open. Colossus is exposed. And Clem dives in for the kill. Takes down the Colossus. Stims forward. And here's in trouble. Here he's in a lot of trouble. Taking the... Oh my god. Here a little bit too greedy. Taking the gold. Tanks are within range. The gold base is going to be denied. herO could have taken the fourth, but he could have taken a safer fourth base instead. Ay, ay, ay. herO soon falling behind economically. Yep, there we go. Back up fourth base on the way. And herO, he's in trouble. And he's even on bases, which is never something you want to see here against a Terran. Clem threatening a stim. herO, he needs more time for more Colossi. There we go. Second one has arrived. He needs a third. Kiting well. As the tanks are barely out of range of the base. Oh, the wide shots. Ooh, brutal connections on the zealots. The minefield is cleaned up. He's holding on. Down heavily here in supply. But he's barely holding on. Again, at any moment, Clem, he can just stim in. He has to be so careful with that. His force fields, they need to be on point. He needs to slow down the army and slice it up. First disruptor has arrived, but he needs more. Once again, diving in. Little mine shots here on the stalkers. Never goes up. Doesn't connect. And here he's being overwhelmed. He's being overwhelmed at this point. Down to barely a standing army. And Clem's almost maxed. He's almost maxed out. Again, this fourth base was just far too bold for herO. Far too bold. Far too greedy. Wasn't worth it in the end. Just now getting his fourth base. Meanwhile, Clem is getting his own. Clem going for a June drop here towards the natural. Here he warps in time. Should clean this up. Never mind. As our last zealots, they get shut down. The army pushes in as well. We need some good Novas here out of herO. But it may just not be enough. And it shouldn't be enough at this point. As Clem, he stims, and he's going to win. As he takes down the Colossus, takes down the Disruptor. There's one Colossus left. Well, there's plenty of Vikings. Plenty of Vikings in position. The army crumbles. And GG gets called as herO gets torn apart, and Clem ties up the series 1-1. GG. GG, well played. Just a brutal position there for herO. It isn't just the initial rough engagement that he did take, but on top of that, the rush distance by ground is quite short as well if both players expand towards each other. And Clem did expand towards herO once he realized what was going on. Did take that expansion. It takes so little time for reinforcements to arrive and for the army to be on top of the bases of herO as well. Didn't help that herO was also expanding even further towards Clem by taking the center base. It was crazy. It was actually insane. Yeah, no shot, no chance of taking it, and with that, Clem does snowball out of control and ties up the series. Ties up the series 1-1, and now we're getting into Game 3. Game 3. Not the ace match yet, we're getting there. This is a best of 5, of course, so plenty more games ahead of us. And we're hoping for a back and forth, we're hoping for an ace match. But the pressure is, I mean, now on both players. We'll see who takes the lead. Who takes the lead in the series. Here we go. This morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ley Lines, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Liquid, tying up the series 1-1, and making a series out of this as well. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right, on the top right-hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. It is herO. Sorry, just opening up the door. It's getting quite hot here. Getting quite hot. I mean, we're getting neck deep into summer here in Australia, so it's very hot, very humid, as you can imagine. Just airing the room out as I'm slowly being boiled. But we're all good. We're all good as we settle into Game 3. We're settling in. So far, once again, double gas. Double gas every game so far here by Clem. Double gas opener into a more delayed economy. We saw that last game, this did not lead into an early mine drop. That was the case in Game 1. In Game 2, we saw a commitment into Reaper Hellion, which didn't really get too much done. It killed 3 probes for 2 Reapers. Wasn't necessarily the best trade from Clem, but it, the follow-up was, of course, a heavier tank count into a very strong stim +1 timing. What I will say is that the rush distance by ground on ley lines is far longer than on El Dorado. It is going to be longer. Likewise, the bases are more defendable as well. We speak about this all the time. One of the big features is these ramps coming into the 3rd and into the 4th base. And if you can see a Protoss player here on top of the ramp with force fields, with a CranKy, with Colossus, then they can hold on even if they're down 20, 30, 40 army supply. They can hold the line. So we could even see a longer game state here, depending on the opener. We'll see. We shall see. So now the first Reaper's moving out. We have a second Reaper behind this. Okay. So Clem is going to be committing a little bit harder. Is going to be a little bit more aggressive early on. Is still expanding, of course, but is investing into additional earlier Reapers. As the first Reaper gets across the map, Adept does keep eyes on it. Now, as the first Reaper goes down, we saw something similar in the previous game. That should not have happened, so a very nice pick up here by herO. Does shut Clem down before we can really get any momentum going. Behind this, the probe does confirm the second Reaper. There's a 3rd Reaper on the way, additional Hellion production as well. Now, this is not reactored Reaper Hellion, so there's going to be a little bit less of a commitment here from Clem. Still aggressive, don't get me wrong, but shouldn't be as many as previously. As Clem is continuing Hellion Reaper production. He should shut down the Adept. Ooh, almost takes down another Hellion. Barely survives. 1 shot away from going down and now can be repaired. Yeah, the boys are pulled over here. I'm sure he wants that Hellion. We'll settle for the CC. Oh. Going for the Hellion instead. It looks like the the Hellion will survive and the Adept goes down. So a little bit wasteful there from herO. Which is scary. Every unit counts early on because you don't really have that many warp ins. You have 1 gateway, you're making 1 unit at a time, and for herO to lose those 2 adepts means he has that much less to defend at home, and now Clem is getting ready for his counterattack. He's moving out and hoping to bust into a mineral line. So far, trading with the adept. Stalker has arrived. They bypass the main army. Hellion shots going off. 2 probes go down. Nice damage. He gets 3. Getting up to 4. 4 probe kills. Oracle has arrived. It was a Stargate opener this time by herO, and herO he will defend. He will shut this down. Not without losing 4 probes though. It was a lot of economic damage. That was 5 probes in total for 2 Hellions and 3 Reapers. Oracle moves out, and Clem at least is now aware of what's going on. Viking production has begun. Back at home at Clem, he has 2 Widow Mines. They're borrowed here in the mineral lines as well. 1 at the natural, 1 in the main. He has to be very careful with that Oracle movement. Setting up stasis traps. Moving out for another counterattack. Phoenix has arrived. Again, this early on, the armies are quite small between the players. It's 4 Marines and 1 Viking. Soon to be 6 Marines. Cyclone is on the way. The Cyclone should shut this down. But Clem is zoned away from his own mineral line. Mine shot goes off. Takes out a Stalker. Massive pickoff. Stalker does fall. Adept shades into the main. Delaying some of the production. Gets 1 SCV, but these haven't been the best trades here for herO. He has to retreat. He has to retreat. Clem holds. Clem defends. And now we can settle in. herO going for a Stargate opener into fast Colossus production. This is almost borderline like Phoenix Colossus, a little bit more old school, but no additional Phoenix production, just the 1, I believe. No, sorry, just the 2. So 2 Phoenixes for herO, the bare minimum, straight into Colossus. And more Phoenixes on the way as well. Again, Phoenix Colossus used to be the go-to opener in PvT for a very long time, for many years, like 2020, 2021, 2022. Has since very much so fallen out of favor and fallen out of meta. So it's a pretty rare sight nowadays, and even then, or even here, this isn't the standard variation of Phoenix Colossus either. We'll see if he can get away with it. And one of the reasons why it kind of phased out is you do leave yourself quite vulnerable early on to like early game move outs. Especially Korean Terran players did get more aggressive over the years and over time. To the point where Phoenix Colossus openers just too difficult to really get away with. As they would often be shut down. Didn't help that maps were getting smaller as well over time. And Clem does move out. Back at home, what is it to defend? Okay, we have 4 Phoenixes, 1 Immortal, and 1 Colossus. First Colossus is soon to arrive, and can herO hold with that 1 Colossi? It's going to come down to the stakes. Oh! Massive connection! It takes down the Marines, takes down the Marauder as well. And it's all about buying time. Here, he's just buying time for warp-ins. I mean, the army is very small. It's like, it's 1 Immortal, 1 Colossus, 2 Zealots. It's barely an army. But with the help of the stasis, it's enough. Here, he's holding on. Bold move for herO to move out. He will lose 1 Phoenix. Stasis runs out. He dives in. Here, he should not have been here. He should not have been here. Colossus goes down as well. Massive pickoff, and here he's in trouble. Ay, ay, ay. He's in a lot of trouble. There's no reason to be out here, Pappy. Oh my god. He's crazy. As herO, he's up against the wall. Mind Shot goes off, takes down an Oracle. Ay, ay, ay. herO does at least catch a medevac. But here, he needs more than that. He's trying to buy as much time as possible with these Phoenixes. As Clem is gearing up for a second wave. herO, he now has another Colossus again. Back up to 1. The Phoenixes are trying to buy time. So far, so good. +1 air attack on the way. Let's go. Clem rotating over towards the right. Has a decent army. Army gets spotted. hero's aware. He rotates. Does respond. Oh, the mind shot. Massive connection on the Phoenixes. Vikings, they come in. They shut down 2 more Phoenixes. Massive pickoffs. But herO is now up to 2 Colossi. He can now hold his own. herO has no pushing power, but he does defend. And behind this, Clem is getting his own 3rd base and now working towards, I would imagine, a 4th. Meanwhile, oh my god, that is a fleet beacon on the way. Now, if this was classic, I would be like, yo, he's rushing towards Tempest or rushing towards Carrier. If it was classic, it'd be Tempest. But here in this matchup with herO, is he willing to just double down on Mass Phoenix? Does he commit into Phoenix range is what I'm getting at. No shot. I mean, he's making more Phoenixes. No greater Skytals yet. I'm waiting for the Phoenix range. Show us what you got. I mean, this might just be for the mothership, true. Could just be for the mothership. Clem is still being active. Clem is still up in army supply. Does spot the army. Decent shots coming off here from the Colossus. Ooh, the Widowmine does connect. And there they are, the Tempest. The Tempests are on the way. Sorry, the Carriers are on the way. Classic, is that you? As herO, he's trying to cut corners once again. He's trying to rush into Skytoss. He needs a little bit more time. herO, he needs more time. And this expansion, it's so exposed. It's down on the low ground. Clem is going to be the first to max out. But if he waits until he's maxed, that may be too late. Might be too late for Clem. Thankfully, though, he's being active. He's being active. He's moving out. Splitting up his army. Going for drop play instead. I mean, again, Clem, he doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know that he's on a timer. This is just such a risky maneuver here by herO, but so far it's paying off. So far, at least. Nice catch on the Immortal. Immortal goes down. The Carrier, it does reveal itself. Yeah, the Carrier is revealed. Clem coming in from behind. Coming in for a backstab. Upon seeing this, we should be seeing a 2nd starport and additional Vikings. Yeah, As he scans, he spots the carrier. And there it is. There's the second starport. Second starport's on the way. Nice EMP on the Phoenixes. Phoenixes, they do get EMP'd. Vikings, they bully back the army. Interceptor's going to be going down. Clem trying to come in from behind, but he does get caught out. Clem, he might be maxed, but his entire army isn't here. As EMP once again. Phoenixes are falling. Nice kiting here against the interceptors. And here is bleeding out too much. Bleeding out far too much. Will commit. I want to say he's overextending a little bit here. herO, he needs to back up. Step farther, holding his own. A bit of an all army there out of Clem. Has to calm down, has to pull back. And consolidating his forces. herO, he's holding on. Now going for his own counterattack. Bold move out of herO. There's not many interceptors here on the carriers. He's still building up. But now he's up to 4 carriers, and is that enough? Who needs splash damage when you have a carrier, Pappy? Let's go! Yeah, Clem is being forced back. Ghosts are getting picked off as well. Yeah, massive pickoffs. The boys are being pulled. And herO, has he done it? Does he have enough? So we do see Clem coming in from behind, going for a massive backstab. Does force a recall. Okay, massive move here from Clem. Forcing a recall, buying a lot of time. Doesn't quite get the Colossus though, bleeding out a lot of bio in the process. Ay, ay, ay. Meanwhile, Clem has got 12 Vikings. That's a lot of Vikings. Yeah, the Colossus melts. Oh my god. First Colossus goes down, second Colossus as well. Yeah, the Viking has arrived. Now he can just target down every single carrier. Never goes off, no major connection. And that's going to be it. That's going to be every single carrier going down. Down to 3. Down to 2. Soon to be down to 1. And down to none as well. I mean, it was close. It was close here from herO. That recall might have been the moment for Clem as GG gets called. And Clem will take a 2-1 lead in the series. GG. Whew. Oh my god. But again, imagine if herO didn't have to recall. If he didn't have to recall, he could have kept pushing, could have gotten on top of those ghosts as well. That may have been game. It would have been close. It would have been very close, as of course Clem was banking up reinforcements at his natural. So it was a very, very clutch, very close game state there. That recall was a huge moment though for Clem, so as he was able to just force back the army and build up reinforcements and consolidate his forces. And with that, GG. GG, well played. It got up to the killer count of 12 Vikings. Was able to shut everything down. And with that, Clem takes a lead, and Clem is now 1 game away from taking the series. Want to amass 1 more game here is all that Clem needs. That was a close one, but in a sense, Clem was for the most part in the driver's seat in this game. It was really risky play out of herO to go for a Stargate opener, Oracle into Phoenix Colossus into a carrier rush. It almost worked, but again, it was just really risky play there out of herO, and in the end, barely didn't quite work out. Barely. And now we are getting ready for that game 4. Going to be on Frostline. Frostline, one of the larger maps in the map pool. The largest, newest map in the map pool, I should emphasize. Went by Snowpiercer in the PTR. Remember to hydrate your hydras when it's hot. True, true. I've been drinking a lot of water. A lot of agüita, papi. And massage your marines. Exact. SC2 full knows. He knows, papi. Massage all your marines. Ah, no. And marinate your marauders. Why does herO just sometimes? I mean, I mean, you say sometimes. He does it all the time. The thing is that, like, when it works, you don't place as much blame on him. That's the difference. when it works, you're like, oh, that was an amazing play out of herO. When it doesn't, that's when it stands out. And that's why we love herO. He's very aggressive, very in your face. It is quite risky though, because as you're kind of pointing out, there are times where it's a little bit wiser to just calm things down and slow down instead. But you know, if he didn't play like that, it wouldn't be herO. Wouldn't be herO back. As we're getting into game number 4. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Frostline, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid, leading the series 2-1. One more game is all he needs. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. Down in the series, can he force the ace match? He needs to win this game here and now to bring us to game 5. It is herO. Let's go. And we can still into Frostline for one of the first times tonight. One of the first times. Again, this is one of the larger maps in the map pool. To coincide that though, it is a large map, but the bases are very exposed. The 3rd and 4th base, they're very spread out, they're very wide open as well. Can be quite difficult to maintain a higher base count in a longer game state. So because of that, we've seen a lot of mid-game play, a lot of mid-game aggression here on Frostline. And we'll see how Clem makes use of it, as once again, double gas. Every game in this series, double gas opener out of Clem. Last game we saw Clem did commit into additional Hellion Reaper production and was quite successful with it early on. He was able to get quite a bit of economic damage and also scout the follow-up. If you remember, he scouted the Oracle and the Stargate opener as a result in that previous game. So once again, Clem is going to be the aggressor, or at least he's looking to be. Going for a more delayed expansion. And we'll see if this leads into additional Widowmine production or Reaper Heli. As here he does move out with that first Reaper. This time he does go for the add-on follow-up, not going for a second Reaper. So Clem is varying it up. With this, he could still commit into Reactor Reaper Hellion, true, if he so chose to. Looking for a way in. Dips up the ramp. Confirms the setup. Robo open out of herO. Okay, herO is mixing it up instead. No Stargate, no Twilight Council, Robo. Very safe way to play. Very safe way. This means that if herO, if he feels unsafe, if he feels like aggression is coming his way, he can go for early Immortal production. This can also lead into early Colossus production with an earlier Robotics Bay as well. So in general, just a much more safer approach to PvT. The downside is that you have very little map control. You have no Blink Stalkers, you have no Phoenixes. You do have access to a War Prism. We could see herO open up War Prism first. If he does go for the Prism, he can move out across the map and be active with some Adept Harass. It can be quite difficult to pull it off, but it's available here to herO. Observer first. Okay. It is going Observer first. Back at home, Clem did go into Reactor Marine production, not Widowmine. Sorry, not Reaper, what I meant to say. Just the one Reaper going into, interesting, early drop play, but those are not Widowmines. Early Cyclone production instead. Very safe play here out of Clem. I mean, Clem doesn't know. He doesn't know what's going on. If it was to be another Stargate opener, Oracle and Phoenixes, then a Cyclone is just a really safe way to open up from the Terran side of things, especially if you're in the dark. So herO's opening up safely, and Clem is unaware. Clem is unaware of the take of choice. Cyclone moves out. Clem applying a bit of pressure. Behind this, we do have a fast Twilight, or I should say a Twilight Council follow-up here after the Robo opener. So it's going to be delayed tech and delayed blink, I would imagine, out of herO, in favor of the early Robo and early scouting. The Observer's been getting across the map, has access to those Immortals. Clem does reinforce. And herO, does he have enough to really hold on here? Bearing in mind, these are vanilla gateway units. Gets eyes on the Cyclone. Let's get eyes on the Cyclone. Tank has arrived. Ooh, herO getting caught out. One Stalker does fall. Massive pickoff. And Clem is going to chase us down. Immortal production has just now begun. But here he's in trouble. He's in a lot of trouble. Does have a shield battery, thankfully. Shield battery is set up. Boys are being pulled. Tank flow is going up. And here he's going to lose so many probes in the process. So many workers going to be going down. 10, 11, 13. This is game ending. This is game ending damage. The tank finally does fall. But it looks like Clem is breaking through. The Immortal is a couple of seconds away from going up. From popping in. But the damage has been done. Clem shuts down the Observer. Takes down the Stalkers. Finally is forced to pick up. But that was brutal. That was brutal damage early on. Oh my god. 13 probes, 4 Stalkers, the Observer. herO does hold. And again, herO, he got punished for skipping tech. In a way, skipping tech. He went for the Immortal, sorry, the Robot Opener, but he didn't make an Immortal until the army was in his face. He missed the move out. That's what I should emphasize. Did miss the move out. Late Immortal. Minimal defense. And Clem, he is threading another drop into the main. As Clem takes an economic lead. Throwing down extra axes, no third CC, not yet. Boosting into the main. Likewise, Viking drop here towards the natural. Medevac goes down. Clem, can he target down one of these probes? Ah, not quite. herO holds. herO, he does hold on, shuts down the Viking, shuts down the drop, doesn't take any damage. Very nice defense. Nice defense here by herO. It's a good start, but he needs more. Again, there's no third. The third base is heavily delayed for herO because he had lost 13 probes. Like, that did eat into his economy, did eat into his build. And herO is moving out, he's being active. I'm sure hoping to catch a drop. Meanwhile, Clem just now begins his third CC. Third command center has begun here in the main. Viking getting caught out. Nicely done. Viking does fall. herO now taking his third base. His third is so late. It's actually on par with the third base of Clem, which is not what you want to see. So herO's in a really rough position here. Now herO is taking into Storm, and he did go into not Blink, but Charge. Went for a Charge follow-up instead. So charged into Immortal, Archon, Storm. A very robust army. And has a lot of potential. Even if herO's down in like down 30, 40 army supply, he can make up for that with Storm. Scan reveals the Temple Archives. Clem knows. Clem now knows what's going on. He's aware of the army. Clem is once again getting ready for a move out. He spots the Observer. Does spot it as Clem chases. Here he comes in with a Prism. Boys are being pulled. A Storm jump into the mineral line. Oh my god, massive connections. 9 SVs going down. And Clem, he's committing. Is committing across the map. Would you recall back home? Those are Storms that are not going to be available defensively, but there are plenty of High Templar, plenty of Storms. herO, he can pull this off. Can pull this off. Zealots towards the third base. Clem out of position. Nice feedback. Nice Storms as well. Oh, the High Templar are exposed though. Prism goes down. We're coming for the surround. Massive. The Storms, they just don't stop. Storms do not end, but the army it stems in. Takes out the High Templar. The Immortals as well. Falling back to the tanks. Yeah, tank boys are going to be brutal here on the main army. Immortal goes down. herO, he should be able to defend, though he does barely hold. Takes down every single tank. herO survives. He does survive back across the map. SCVs were falling. Clem down to 52. Getting his third base back up and running. Again, a very scrappy game state here. Now, the scary thing about what just transpired is the High Templar count. The High Templar count was reset. I'm afraid to look here, but 3 High Templar were killed, and Archons were forced to be morphed in as well. So a lot of High Templar went down there. Do have another Zealot run by. Takes down 2 Wooden Mines. Here he's holding his own. He's keeping up. Bay is on the way for Colossus production. There are 2 High Templar in that Prism. 2 Storms. Mines are going up. herO pushing in. Bio Army comes in from behind. Storms do connect. The first one was solid, the second one a little bit less so. Oh, and there's not much more with this army. The Immortals are low, the Archon as well. Here comes another Warp in. And does herO have enough? Comes in with a reinforcing High Templar. Boys are being pulled. He has 2 storms. Yeah, storms are coming in. Massive connections. And herO, he's barely breaking through. There's that final storm. Only takes down 3 SCVs. Clem, he's holding on. He's holding. Ghosts have arrived. He has EMPs. The Ghosts have joined the main army. EMP is going to be available. herO barely not enough to break through. And now he takes the 4th. 4th base on the way. The economies are still very close. Zealot drop into the mineral line. Getting 5 SCVs in the blink of an eye. And most of the Zealots get saved. 1 still left behind. Gets 2 more SCVs. 7 in total. Very nice damage. Just herO just squeezing out as much value as he can out of what little he has. Again, this army is so small for herO, but I mean, it packs a punch. Oh, nice feedbacks. There's still 1 EMP available. herO, he has to back off. Charge also have a right to reinforce. The Mind Shots, though. Oof, Mind Shots are brutal. He also gets so low. And they had Templar, 0. 0 had Templar, 3 of them just now morphing in. Back at the 3rd. He has the energy overcharge. Here he's pushing right down mid. At the same time, Clem going for a Doom Drop. Uh-oh. We could end up in a weird base trade. There's a recall. Here he does recall. Does make it back home in time. Brutal EMP though. Prism getting low. Zelda coming from behind. Coming for a surround. Nice time for the War Prism. Oh my god, there's 1 full whenever it goes down. Nice pick off by herO. Going for another. Clem taking a lot of losses. He does hold. Does hold on. herO does rotate around. Clem out of position. Yeah, barely out of position. Did rotate the wrong way. Nice and out on the 4CC. Colossus are exposed. They barely do survive though. Yeah, Colossus, they hold their own, and herO, he's breaking through. Yeah, the fight he's been looking for. I say that. Another Colossus does 4 though. Down to 2. Not much of a ground army either. Not much support. Still so close. Still so close between our 2 players. There is a storm. Uh-oh. herO! Devil goes down. Storm not quite effective. Down to 1 High Templar, no storms left. Clem coming in from behind, trying to catch out the army. Stalkers are coming to reinforce. There's a Disruptor as well. herO trying to flank the army instead. Gets EMP. Collapse on the Colossus. Nova goes off. No connection. The splits. The splits are too good. Flanking Nova comes in. There's that 1 Nova available here for herO. Starting back the army. As Clem bleeds out those Vikings. Barely holding on. herO takes the supply lead. Dropping to the main. Sorry, Raven Harass instead. Gets a couple of probes. But herO should have enough. He should overwhelm. Outside of taking a rough fight. Speaking of, Clem goes for the dive. Takes down the Colossus. Boys are being pulled. And Clem, does he have enough? Nah, not with these charge loss. GG gets called. herO, he overwhelms just barely. And herO, he will tab the series. We are going to game 5. We are going to the ace match. GG. We're going all the way to game 5 here. Again, very, very scrappy game here on Frostline. There were moments for both players, moments for both herO and Clem. Both players beating out some high-tech units, of course, and things got very scrappy in the end. herO barely able to stabilize, able to out-trade his opponent. I do want to say that the big moment with things swung in favor of herO was the Storm Drop. When herO Storm dropped the natural, and Clem was forced to counterattack, but he wasn't able to achieve anything with that counterattack. herO, he was ready in time, got 9 SCV kills, he was able to survive, able to defend, and able to stabilize after a rough start. If you remember, herO, he lost 13 probes at the start of the game. Very rough start, but then did bounce back. Did bounce back. And we're going all the way to that final and 5th game. Let's go. Let's go. When herO held by pulling those probes, looked over. Yeah, 100%. Like, herO, he was behind from that moment when he pulled the boys and when he lost 13 probes. But that's why it was so important in the aftermath of that he came in with the storm drop and he was able to deal equivalent damage across the map by getting those 9 SCVs. That was kind of like the beginning of the comeback for herO. I was able to get those SCVs, recall back home, and make a game out of it. It was not an easy game, though. Not an easy one. Not at all. And now we're in the ace match. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran, being forced into Game 5. We'll see if we can bring it back. Representing Team Liquid, it is Clem. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the blue Protoss player, representing Weibo Gaming, WBG. Ooh, tying up the series. We'll see if we can bring it back and go all the way. It is herO. As welcome one and all to the ace match, the final game of the series, Game 5. Let's go one way or another. It all ends here. It all ends on Ultra Love. And we're settling in. Every game of this series, we've seen Clem opening up double gas. Do we finally deviate? We will. This time, though, with what I believe to be an eBay block. Yeah, SV's moving out, going to be skirting around the edge of the map, and is moving in for an eBay block here at the natural. So, cheeky move by Clem. This tells me that Clem is opening up with a single gas geyser, but it does also mean that his CC is going to be delayed because those resources are going to be spent elsewhere on the engineering bay instead. So for the first time here this series, Clem doesn't open up double gas. There we go, eBay has been placed. And how long will it take for herO to realize what's going on? Does move to the low ground. And it gets eyes on the eBay. He has to pull the boys. Yeah, boys are being pulled. And there's some nice progression on this eBay as well. Around 60% done. Not bad. That will delay the opener, delay the economy, the mining time here of herO. At the same time across the map, he does slip into the main. And there's that factory follow-up. As herO, he wants that SCV. He wants it. Oh my god. Alas, he won't quite get it. The Marine has arrived, and Clem will defend. Meanwhile, across the map, I believe that was a... Ooh, that should not have happened. Clem, distracted by the probe. Suddenly, this probe is the MVP. The probe goes down, but that's a kill on the eBay. That should not have happened. Ay, ay, ay. 125 minerals down the drain. Suddenly, that wasn't worth it for Clem. Oof. Clem, we gotta calm down, papi. Oh my god. With that, Clem is gonna be taking his expansion on the high grounds. Again, back at home, he missed the cancel. And with that, despite the delayed opener out of herO, it's worth it. It's okay. He bounces back. Does bounce back. See someone asking in chat as well, like, why do you think we don't see Colossus use the cliff walking more often to micro? We do see it on... we see it on Frostline. We have seen actually a lot of really clutch play. I think Trigger comes to mind. Like Trigger recently was using that kind of micro early on. It does come into play from time to time, but it's never as like pronounced, unfortunately. I think it's very map dependent, depending on the terrain. But I think Frostline has like potential for that sort of thing. It's just very niche depending on where the cliff faces are, unfortunately. Very niche. As we do have the Adept shading towards the main. Forced to recall. I believe the Adept should make it out, just barely. And we do have our tech of choice, herO opening up with a Stargate. Once again, Stargate opener out of herO. Now, the last time we saw a Stargate opener, it was Oracle into Mass Phoenix, into Phoenix Colossus. It was very old school, like a very old school kind of style from herO. If you remember, it was on Ley Lines. Speaking of, Phoenixes have begun. Not saying that this has to lead into Phoenix Colossus, but it could. It is an option here for herO as the Medivac does move out. Clem dips in towards the natural. Does dip in. So far, the mine drop is deflected. 2 probe kills so far. See someone asking in chat, I'm confused. Is there no more tournament at 6 CET? No Pigosor Cup? There is. If you haven't seen it, there is a Pigosor Cup this week. Is it not on TL? If it's not on TL, it should be. No, yeah, it is. It is on Team Liquid. So that is going to be in 8 hours. In 8 hours' time is going to be the Pigosor Monday. So I don't know where you heard that it wasn't taking place, because it is. It is taking place. That is going to be our next broadcast, or at least my next broadcast on the channel. Adepts, they do shade in, they commit to the shade. Oh, we're going to be shutting this down though. The Cypher does reveal itself. And here he's going to be cleaned up. We'll lose most of these Adepts. One of them does shade into the mineral line, and we'll pick off an SCV or 2. One SCV goes down, but Clem, he's going to commit. Does move out, does gain map control. herO racing back home and committing into multiple Phoenixes. But he is contained on 2 bases. And really, that's all Clem wants. All he wants is just contain on 2 bases. When mine goes down, herO, he's breaking out. Does break out, does commit to the shade. Clem is still being active. Ideally, he does want to force a cancel. But the shades do pin him back, and the Phoenixes, they finally move out. How many? It's going to be 6, soon to be 7 Phoenixes for herO. Getting across the map into the mineral line. Clem, he was relying so heavily here on being active, and his mineral line is exposed. 3 SCVs go down. Army gets forced back. 1 Phoenix does fall. And herO takes his 3rd. Finally. Now, the 3rd base is very delayed for herO. That's my biggest concern. As a result, economically, Clem is in a better position. He's building up. Getting his Raxes underway. And herO is still recovering. And that's why it's so important that herO gets some SCVs, and he does get 3 more. Very nice. Oh, we'll lose the Phoenix. That's going to be, I believe, 6 in total. Yeah, 6 SCVs so far by the Phoenixes. And again, it's imperative here that herO, he continues that aggression to make up for how late his 3rd base is. By picking up SCV after SCV, shaving up Marines. Phoenixes, they dive back in. Oh, this time Clem is ready. This time Clem is in position. I don't know, Pigosor Monday has been a thing since the beginning of the off-season. Same with our tournaments, Tenacious Total Tussle, Sparkling Tunic Cup. We've all been running our own events. It's the only event that stopped. We had like 5 we had 5 open cups a week. Now I think we have 4. As the Wardi Cup did go on an indefinite hiatus. May come back one day, but for now it's on hiatus. As now Clem is moving out. He's quite committed here on 2 bases. Plenty of Vikings. herO getting into his own Colossus production. Still needs more time. Colossus has yet to arrive. Tanks are moving forward. herO, he's vulnerable. He is vulnerable. Does slow down the push. Nice force fields. Vikings, they land. Oh my god. And may as well. They dive in the army. Immortal does barely survive. And here he's barely holding on. Those are brutal tank shots, though. Phoenixes, they race back home, but the Vikings, they can lift. They can. As for now, they commit to the ground. Colossus does make it out. Nice lifts here on the tanks. But the tanks, they survive, and here his army crumbles. The ground army just melts before the tanks. Again, the Phoenixes, they were out of position. Colossus is going to be chased down. Even with the help of the shield battery, it's not going to be enough. As the army gets into the mineral line. Ooh. Yeah, Colossus does fall, and herO just doesn't have anything else left. Feels busy across the map with the Phoenixes, just at the wrong moment. And Clem, he has done it. He's now just cut herO off from his own 3rd. He can bust into the mineral line and just bring it down. Phoenix is trying to break out, but There's only 3 Phoenixes. It's not going to be enough. The tanks, they land once again. They just, oh my god, they just shut down that Colossus. And GG Clem, he will take the series at 3-2, becoming this week's WardiTV Monday number 14 champion. GG. GG, well played. herO, once again, that was the second time this series where he went Phoenix Colossus. And again, this is just a really, like, out-of-style kind of play or out-of-style build. It's rarely seen nowadays, for good reason. I mean, we see it here as well. It is weak to early game aggression and earlier move outs on 2 and 3 bases. It is when you're the most vulnerable. The reason for this is because, of course, you're investing quite heavily into all these Phoenixes. Typically, you're spending a lot of energy harassing across the map, and they do struggle here just because they have to use, of course, the energy to lift up units and just try to buy time. These 2 base move outs hit like a truck against this kind of builds, and yeah, we saw herO just wasn't quite able to hold on. Likewise, I mean, it was a really rough start as well. Remember, his 3rd base was delayed. That did delay his Colossus production as well. There's a lot that came into that. There's a lot that came into the aggression of Clem. With that, GG. GG, well played. Congratulations, Clem. He will take the series, and he is our champion. But a shout out to herO for forcing the ace match, for bringing us all the way to Game 5. A very entertaining series here between herO and Clem. Likewise, shout out to Clem for flexing his Protoss earlier in the semifinals. Of course, Clem, the best Protoss in all of Europe, was able to flex that as well, and able to show off and kind of step in when MaxFax did step out. MaxFax wasn't in this week's tournament, but of course, the theory is maybe Clem was MaxFax all along. It's possible, it's possible. Maybe that's why MaxFax wasn't here, because Clem had to play Protoss. True. Couldn't do both at once. Kappa. Couldn't do both at once. Regardless, GG, well played. Congratulations here to Clem. Shout out to not just herO, but shout out to Shin and Beyond for making it to the semifinals. And as some people were asking previously, when is the next tournament? When is the next Open Cup? The next Open Cup is going to be Pigosaur Monday. That's going to be in 8 hours time. That is a weekly tournament, more catered towards the Korean and American time slot. It's less favorable towards the European time slot. So if you're mainly European focused, you don't get to, you're unable to enjoy it or unable to really take part. For the most part, like, that doesn't stop MaxFax. MaxFax still typically plays at the Pigosaur Monday. And if you want to tune into it, check it out on YouTube, as the VODs are available. Again, Pigosaur Monday has been running and coinciding with the WardiTV Monday ever since the off-season of StarCraft, or of EPT, I should say. The off-season of EPT. We have had your weekly dose of Stegosaur Mondays, or Pigosaur Mondays, as Pig did recently sponsor the weekly. So again, that's going to be in 8 hours time. But if you are unsatiated, if you want some more StarCraft here and now, then the stream is not done. I mean, it's kind of done. I'm done, at least. It's 4 a.m. It's 4 a.m. in the morning. It's time to go to bed. It's time for me to get some rest and get some sleep. I'm going to pass the hell out. Very tired. But the stream will continue, as I'm going to be passing the keys to the stream over to Kuro. As on Friday, we did have the Sea Duckling Open, but we were unavailable to cast it live at the time. We did collect replays, and we'll be going over a replay cast here and now. If you're curious, what exactly is the Sea Duckling Open? That is a tournament that we've been casting since 2017. It's been a long time. It is of course the first event that we started here on the CranKy Ducklings back in 2017. Back when we first started the team. It is a bronze to diamond tournament. Nowadays, bronze to, I believe, 4.2k MMR. So bronze to diamond or low masters 3. If you're curious, if you want to take part, or if you want to tune in yourself, or even compete in those tournaments, you can do so by joining our Discord server and following our events. Again, this is more of a amateur tournament, again, for players of around diamond or masters 3 and below. So much more amateur focused. But fun fact, a bit of a fun fact here, for those who don't know, and for those who haven't been watching us since 2017, if so, what have you been watching? What's been going on? We have actually been able to kind of cast and see the rise of a bunch of GM players. I mean, they're GM now. Back in the day, they used to play in our diamond tournaments. Players like Mixu, players like GG Machine, players like Starduck, herO as well, Ruichi, the American Protoss player. The list isn't long, but there is a list of players that Baby Marine's another one. There is a list of players that used to be diamond back in the day. They used to play in our tournaments, and because we're running these events, ideally the purpose of them, it's grassroots, right? It's designed to give players a reason to improve, to compete, to rise through the ranks, and to strive for something greater. That's why we don't just have diamond tournaments here in this channel, we also have masters tournaments as well. So we have kind of like a ladder of events that you can partake in. C Duckling Open, Masters 1 Open, then our pro open tournaments as well. So we have that kind of ladder system, and yeah, players over time. It's not like every player that competes becomes pro and becomes a GM, but you know, there's some diamonds in the rough, and you know, does always feel good to see those players nowadays, see how they've improved over time and how they've grown as players as well. Of course, there are others that have been stuck in diamond all those years, Smooch, but others they do take that as an opportunity to grow as players. So that's really cool. It's really cool to see. Really cool that we see them grow over time. And again, if you wish, you can stick around and tune in to this week's C Duckling Open. I believe C Duckling Open number 130. It's been 130 of these. Crazy, puppy, crazy. Nowadays, they used to be weekly. For those that don't know, they used to be weekly tournaments. Nowadays, we don't really have time to host them every week. Nowadays, we host them as a monthly. Nowadays, a monthly, just because we have so many other events and so much more casting going on, covering all these pro events. Back in the day, we didn't have that, so we used to cast these every week. But yeah, as a heads up. Maybe Max Packs is the friends we made along the way. Maybe. Here we go. But yeah, with that, we're going to be heading off for the time being. Basically, the stream is going to go down for like a minute or so, and then the stream is going to go live straight away once again with C Duckling Open. I'm not going to be casting, Kura is going to be casting that instead. I'm going to go to bed, and my next broadcast is going to be in 8 hours. In 8 hours time, I'm going to be live with the Pickosaur Monday. The Pickosaur Monday does typically feature players like Shin, like Björn, Estrella, sometimes Trigger, Max Pack, some of the other DGen Europeans that play up until like 3, 4, 5 a.m. in the morning. Much love to the Europeans that do stay up and compete in that tournament. And again, if you can't tune in live, check out the VODs. Check out the VODs instead. Otherwise, you can check us out and you can support us on the social medias if you so choose to. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, all things CranKy Ducklings. If you want to follow us, we do post whenever we go live. Imagine if I cast until Pickosaur Monday. I mean, there's a lot of games to cast. Pace yourself. But otherwise, thanks for watching. We're going to be heading off for the time being, and we'll be back in a minute or so with our next broadcast with C Duckling Open. See you soon, papi. See you soon. God.